So today, there are a lot of things I want to cover today. And I would invite you all to turn on your cameras so we can all see you. We can all, connect with the group energy and then make this a masterpiece. So while it is true that one of the biggest reasons we are all here is to learn to manifest whatever it is that we want to manifest, right? In the next 60 days, in the next 90 days, and so on and so forth. But what I want to do before we get to that is almost like show you how and why your manifestations don't come into fruition. So, manifesting in itself is actually very easy. And we're going to look over here. I hope you guys can see my incredible artwork over here. So this is you, okay? And these are all the infinite potential realities that exist for your future. And the thing is that anything that you want. So let's say some of you said, I want to manifest abundance. Some of you said, I want to manifest 10 new clients, $50,000, whatever it is for you. All of that is already here on a potential field. It exists. So it's not like something you have to create from scratch. It is already very easily accessible. The only thing is that you need to tune into the frequency of what it is you want to manifest. So there's a concept known as reality transurfing, okay? And reality transurfing essentially talks about that, all of these potentials in reality exist. And when we want a certain reality to come into our lives, what we need to do is tune into the frequency of that reality and select that into our physical reality right now. And I'll give you a really incredible example for understanding the way that manifestation works, essentially. Okay. So if you can see here, I hope you can see here, everything we create in our lives is a result of our energetic field. Everything in life is energy. You are energy. I am energy. This laptop is energy. We're all connected through energy. And so when we're manifesting something, the idea is to understand that how can we create from our energy versus our mind? So there was a study conducted by the Heart Math Research Center, okay? And this study essentially, give me 1 second, sorry. Yeah. So this study, what happened in here was that there were 3 groups of people that were selected, okay? And each of these groups of people were given a jar of DNA, okay? So there was like DNA preserved in a certain way, and they were given that, like jar, and they were told that each of them were given a different set of instructions. The first group was told that you want to hold this jar and you want to think about, changing the structure of the DNA. And the second group was told, you want to hold this and you just want to feel, gratitude. You want to feel positive emotions. You want to feel love. And that's all. Like, you're not going to have a clear intention. And the third group was told that I want you to think about, like, put an intention out there that you want to change something in this DNA. Feel gratitude for it already being done. And when the results came out, the first 2 groups, when they were thinking but not feeling, there was no change in the DNA. When they were feeling, but there was no clear intention of what they want, what the outcome they wanted to be, there was no result. But when they were thinking about a clear outcome and they were feeling grateful for that outcome already being manifested, the freaking DNA changed. And that is how powerful the human mind is. The content is, it's okay. It's mostly for me. The things that I want you guys to read and the things that are more interactive, I'm going to share my screen for that. So the idea here is that, our mind, right, and our heart, we radiate electromagnetic waves. There's like literally an energy field around you. There's an energy field around me. And when we are manifesting a desired outcome, a lot of times the approach for most people is that, oh, like, I want 50 clients and I want this thing and I want that thing. And the energy that we're emitting, which we're going to talk about in a moment, is incongruent with the energy of manifestation, which is when we are able to draw experiences to us. Because think about this, right? Most of the world operates on the belief that if you have a goal and if you want to achieve something, you need to bust your ass to get it. You need to work really hard. You need to burn out. You need to be stressed. You need to be worried. You need to have anxiety. And then you're doing something worthwhile when you're working 16 hours a day, then you deserve your success. That which is creating from matter to matter. Like everything in the physical world is matter. But our understanding of neuroscience teaches us, our understanding of the quantum physics teaches us that manifestation is about creating from energy, that we attract matter into our lives. So all those things that you guys wrote down that you want to achieve in the next 90 days, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because you just have to recognize that all of that is just a potential. It is just energy. And what we're going to do today together is we're going to learn to, remove all the blockages that keep you from tuning into that frequency, that keep you from being, being an energetic match for that reality that you want. Okay. So at the end of this, you're going to learn how to attract things to yourself versus work yourself into exhaustion and worry and stress and control and all of those things to get what you want. And here's the thing, the more you try to control, the less likely you are to get what exactly you want. The more you control, the more resistance you create in your life. Because here's the interesting thing about reality. So if you can see, I hope you can see, but this is a TV, okay? So reality is much like a TV, okay? And everything in reality is a frequency. So if I, turn the TV on and I'm watching a channel and I don't like the channel, all channels exist at the same time. It's not like if I want to watch a new channel, I'm going to have to get a new TV or like get another satellite installed. It's like all those channels already exist in the field. All of them already exist. So if I want to experience a different show, if I want to experience a different, TV channel or whatever, what do I mean by control and I'm going to get to control and resistance in just a moment. So when we talk about reality, right, it's that all of your realities coexist at the same time. It's a matter of changing the channel that you're tuned into. So what we want to do now is before we move forward, what I want to invite you to do is think about this for a moment, that if all your beliefs about what is possible cease to exist, if all your limitations cease to exist, if your past stopped mattering, what could be possible for you in your life? So what we're going to do is I'm going to share my screen in just a moment. And when I do, there's going to be like a question on the screen. And what I want you to do, I'm going to give you like 2 to 3 minutes to write your answers to that question. And what I will invite you to do is that, when you go to watch a movie in the cinema, so when let's say you're going to watch Top Gun, right? And when you enter the cinema, you don't sit there and think, oh my God, Maverick could not have done that. You don't think that, oh, like superheroes don't exist when you go to watch an Avengers movie. Like, oh my God, how did he freaking turn into a Hulk? That's not realistic. We suspend all our disbelief when we go into the cinema, right? So just like that, just like when you would suspend your disbelief when you're about to watch a movie, I want you to suspend disbelief with your own life right now. And when I share my screen, which let me just do that. 1 second. Let me know when you guys can see my screen, okay? Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Give me a 1 if you can. Okay, we'll do Q&A at the very end, okay? So I want you guys to think about this. What do you want to create in your life 6 months from now? So in each area of your life, these are 3 areas that I've added, but if you want to add any more, you can. And write down 2 things you want to manifest in each of these areas of your life. What you are going to do, though, a very important tip, you're not going to write I want, you're going to write I have. So you're going to write it in present tense. And I'll tell you the importance of this in a moment. But what I want you to do is write down 2 things you want to manifest in your life 6 months from now in each of these areas of your life, and write as if you already have those things. So I have, I'm making X amount of money. This is what my job is like. This is what my energy is like. This is what my weight is like. These are what my relationships are like. And whatever else you want to add. Okay. I'm going to give you guys 2 to 3 minutes to do this, and then we're going to come back.
Sidewalking, walk on, what do you see? Strangers, lost friends or harmonies. Darkness, sunlight or shadows. One city, one ocean, one road. 'Cause all we are, all we are. All we are, all we are. 'Cause all we are, all we are. All we are, all we are. Just rolling waves. Can you feel it? Rolling waves. Rolling waves. Can you feel it? Rolling waves. Reflections look in the water. Your skin, oceans and mana. Take us back to the water. One drop, we're all in. Reflections, look in the water. Your skin, oceans and mana. Take us back to the water. One drop, we're all in. 'Cause all we are, all we are. All we are, all we are. 'Cause all we are, all we are. All we are, all we are. Just rolling waves. Can you feel it? Rolling waves. Rolling waves. Can you feel it? Rolling waves. Just rolling waves. Can you feel it? Rolling waves.
Let me know when you guys are done. Just press a done in the chat so I know. We're going to give 1 more minute and then we'll start again.
Who you wanna be? The teacher said, I can set you free, get you out of your head.
Wait, I think most of us are done. Wait, I think there was a question in the chat. Is it okay if I skip relationships? Yeah, it's okay. It's perfectly okay. Okay, awesome. So Perfect. So most of everyone is done. Amazing. Now, let's talk about, now we know what we want to manifest, right? And we are clear, we can feel that we already have it. What I want to talk about now, and what we're going to talk about for the most part of this webinar, is why manifestations generally don't happen. Why, what causes resistance? I'm stuck. Hello, can you guys hear me? Okay, so cool. So what I'm going to talk about for the most of this webinar is why our manifestations don't happen. Okay, so let's think about the example of the TV again. Now imagine you're watching TV and you tune to a channel that you don't really like. That the more you watch what they're showing, the more you realize that, man, I hate this channel. I hate the show. And it sucks. And it makes you feel super uncomfortable. It makes you feel super agitated. And now you have two choices here. You can either keep complaining about how terrible the channel is, or you can like take the remote and switch to a different channel. And I don't have to tell you that all other channels literally exist, right? So to change what you're watching, you don't need to get a new satellite. You don't need to do anything except changing the channel. All channels coexist at the same time. The frequency that you connect to controls what you experience. So if I ask you, hey, what would you do if you don't like the channel? And if you're like anything like most people, you're going to say, Anna, of course, I'm going to change the channel. Why would I want to watch something that I don't like? Just so that I could keep complaining about it? That sounds like chosen misery. And I deserve to have a crappy time if I'm choosing not to change the channel. And I'll say, well, why then are you choosing to recreate the same loop of misery in your life? All while constantly complaining about how much you hate your job, how much you hate your boss, how your partner doesn't understand you, how you wish you could lose weight, how you wish you could be rich, how you wish you could join the gym, how you want all these things, but the universe just doesn't give it to you. When you literally have the power to take the remote and change the frequency that you're connected to. And if you've never considered it from this perspective, you're probably going to look at me like I just told you I'm from Mars. But bear with me for a moment, because everything in the universe is energy. You are an antenna of energy. And reality works very similar to the TV metaphor, because it is all about the frequency you choose to tune into. You get in life a reflection of who you are being. The channel you choose to connect by the way you think, act, and feel. What happens with most people is that they go through a traumatic experience at some point in their life, whether it's their childhood, whether it's early teenage, or whenever really, and they get stuck there by making an unconscious decision about what that event means to them. And how that manifests in reality is that it's like in that moment, that experience is so significantly emotional for them that it brands their brain and they throw the remote away. So now all of their life moving forward is limited to that frequency, whatever frequency that they're emotionally stuck in. Because everything that happens is a reflection of what you believe to be true about your reality. And most of these beliefs are not in your conscious awareness. So you like, it's almost like it's all playing out and you're sitting there like, why is this happening? I don't understand this. I mean, I think, I'm so worthy, I'm so worthy, I'm so worthy every single day. And I don't like, I'm still not getting the shit that I want. And it's this almost like this resistance, this anger, this shame, this guilt that comes up. And they feel then that they're imprisoned to the channel. So they continue to watch that channel, they continue to complain. And unless you choose to wake up to the realization that you can get up and change the channel and experience a new reality, your whole life will pass by in a pool of self-created misery. Every day you're going to wake up and say, I hate this channel, I hate this show, I hate these producers, I hate these characters, everything sucks, it's too hard, it's so terrible. And they're going to go to sleep whispering the same words, only to wake up and keep repeating that cycle unless you finally decide to do something about it. So I'll give you a few examples to put this into perspective. Have you ever met someone or are someone who keeps dating toxic, manipulative, narcissistic people? Or someone who keeps getting cheated on? Someone who keeps getting abandoned by their loved ones? Someone who keeps getting laid off from jobs? Someone who keeps getting divorced? Think Ross from Friends, you know? I remember I had this friend and he had this belief that every time that he was in, a specific city, like the city that I live in, Karachi, every time he was there, he felt like I'm very unsafe. And, you have to leave your valuables at home, you'd get robbed at gunpoint. And I've lived in this city my whole life, right? And I have just never believed that to be a part of my reality. Like, I just don't allow that thought, that energy in my field. I have never done that. And this may sound very controversial to you, okay? But I want you to consider the power of what I'm about to tell you. So this friend of mine, he used to live in another city and he had been living there for, his whole life. He moved to Karachi, and about 2 months into him being here, he would always be like, Anna, you should be so careful when you go out. You can get robbed at any time. Keep your phone at home, keep your laptop at home, don't keep cash on you, this and that. And I'd always just be like, man, I just don't feel like, I'm unsafe. Like, I genuinely feel like I'm always protected by God. And I would just not give it any thought, right? Nothing good, nothing bad, very neutral about it all. Anyway, so he was in the city for about like 6 months, okay? And we were catching up after 4 months. And he was telling me how he's moving back to the city he came from. And I was like, why? He's like, dude, I've gotten robbed 5 times. He got robbed 5 times in 4 months. 5 times in 4 months, guys. And I've been here 24 years. Like, like if anyone was to get robbed statistically, it should have been me, And one time it was literally like he stepped right outside his office. He walked out, someone came, took his phone, took his wallet, left. And I'm not saying that he deliberately, consciously attracted that reality. No. But what I am suggesting you to think is that could it be possible that at some point he made a decision about his reality, that when I'm in this city, I am unsafe, I will get robbed. And energetically, he connected to the frequency of the channel where this reality plays out to be true. So what I am suggesting is that there are an infinite number of possibilities for how your life plays out. And the timeline that you are connected to is based on your thoughts, your actions, your feelings, which is the most important part, your beliefs, and your perceptions. And the thing is that the magnitude of this truth feels like such a heavy burden to most people that they refuse to acknowledge or believe it, because it's really outright saying that you are responsible for every single thing that happens in your reality. So if you keep meeting crappy, selfish people, instead of blaming other people, you take this moment to humble yourself by becoming aware of this energy that you are putting out in the universe. What do you hold to be true? Because for most people, it's easier to blame something or someone in the external environment instead of taking this burden of responsibility on themselves. So they will fight to keep this narrative alive of who they are, where they don't have any choice. They're the victim and, bad things happen to them and they can't do anything about it. Yeah, it is. It is. Exactly. It's like, it's almost like throwing out your remote for your TV and then complaining that the producers of the channel that you're stuck watching are idiots. They should have made a better show or movie. It's their fault. when you are the one who threw the remote away, but you don't want to admit it. You don't want to accept it because that would mean that you need to make the effort to change. And none of us want to do that, really. So you might be, grinning through your teeth, or at least thinking, man, what a bitch, because how dare someone suggest that my life is my responsibility, all of it? Like, what do you mean, Anna? I do want to manifest abundance in my life. If I don't have it, how is it my fault? I'm doing everything right. I'm meditating and I'm doing the good things, and I feel like, I look in the mirror and I say, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, and it's just not coming. It's not my fault. But the thing is that this thing goes against everything that you have believed for so many years. But maybe it's this marriage to your beliefs that is the reason why you're so unhappy. And maybe it's time that you reassess all that you have grown to believe as absolute truth and consider the possibility that it has done more harm than good. Could it be that in order to liberate yourself, you need to divorce your story of limitations and past beliefs? Because you might say that, I want to manifest good things. I want to manifest a relationship. I want to, I'm the perfect partner, Anna. I'm the perfect this, I'm the perfect that. But life works in a funny way. You don't get what you visualize and you say in the mirror 10 times. You get what you believe you deserve. And your belief about what you deserve is very unconscious. It's not something that if I ask you, hey, do you think that you deserve 15 new clients? You're going to be like, hell yeah. But what do you really believe is the real question. Like, what do you genuinely deep inside believe about yourself? So there's a concept called metacognition, right? Metacognition is essentially your ability to think and observe your thoughts and know that you are not your thoughts. And I want you to keep this frame in your mind for a lot of the content that we're about to cover, right? And what I want you to do is think about how many times in your life have you almost like believed that you are your thoughts? A lot of liberation, a lot of awakening in life happens when we wake up to the truth that I am the observer of my thoughts. These thoughts are like clouds that are passing by. I am not the thoughts. So it's like you take a step back from your reality. And it's almost like, you're sitting in a park on a park bench and all these dogs are, like running in front of you and one dog goes by. You don't chase every dog, right? You sit there and you know that I am the observer of these cute little dogs that are running in front of me. So it's a funny example, but think of your thoughts like those dogs. Like, they're running in front of you and you don't have to chase every dog that goes out, no matter how cute it is. You just sit there, you sit back and you observe that, wow, like, okay, these are the thoughts that I'm having. And just practice this, by the way, for 1 week, and you will notice like this expansiveness within you. Because when I did this for the first time, I lived my whole life believing that, like my thoughts and I were one entity. And when I learned about this concept and I started to look at my thoughts as something that was outside of me, that I am sitting behind at the seat of, consciousness, and my thoughts are passing by in front of me, then it was like, wow, so I get to choose to stay even when the thoughts are negative or demeaning or critical or whatever. I can just observe and wonder, wow, that's an interesting thought to have. Like, sometimes when I get a really negative thought, that's literally my conversation with myself. I'll be like, wow, that is an interesting amount of negativity. And it's interesting because healing doesn't have to be that serious. It can be as fun as and as like interactive as we make it to be. But we treat it as this, like, so serious and like, fix your life and whatnot. No, have fun with it. Treat this like an experiment. Become a scientist in your own life. That's the most important part, being a scientist in your own life. So what we're going to talk about now is probably one of the most important things in this entire webinar, okay, which is the scale of consciousness. And the scale of consciousness essentially is, it's like this, scale that the higher you go up the scale, the higher your vibration is, okay? And your vibration is essentially what attracts your manifestations in your life. Yes, that's exactly what I'm getting to, that we have to heal before we manifest anything. So now most people, when they're manifesting something in their lives, they come from an energy of, I want this. Most of your answers in the registration form were, I want 50 clients, I want $10,000, I want peace, I want this. So when I'm saying I want this, so for example, if I say I want, a chocolate right now, I'm saying I want a chocolate because I don't have a chocolate. If I had the chocolate, I'd say that, okay, I have a chocolate with me right now, I have it, I'm eating it. I have it, I'm doing something with it. And a lot of this work in manifestation is our ability to see and experience a life beyond our physical reality, a life beyond what I can see, touch, and feel with my senses. So a life beyond that is the life in the 5D. It's in the energetic universe, right? So tell me if you guys could see the scale of consciousness. I'll be narrating it out to you anyways, but just for an example, right? So at the lowest level of this scale are the emotions of shame, guilt, fear, and want. Shame, guilt, fear, and want. And these are the emotions that most people live a majority of their lives in. It's this perpetual guilt for, I may be a good person, but, I messed up. I did this thing wrong. I did that thing wrong. There's so many things that are wrong about me. Or the shame that there's something wrong with me. I'm broken. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. The fear is one of the biggest things. The fear that, my old identity, once it's taken away from me, I don't know what life is like beyond it. I don't know what life is like beyond my pain. I don't know what life is like beyond a reality that I have practiced for so long. And that's what keeps most people stuck. So when you are out here manifesting the things that you want, but these are the emotions that you live perpetually in, there's no, it's not a, where's my point? Like, it's not a no-brainer to understand that, of course, those things are not going to manifest in your reality, because these are the emotions you are living in. And we get in life a direct reflection of who we're being. So these emotions are survival emotions. And the idea behind these emotions is that life is happening to me, that I am this victim and everything terrible happens to me and life sucks and it was that person's fault and it was this person's fault, it was the economy, it was the president, it was my mom, it was my ex-husband, it was my dad, it's everyone else's fault. And I don't take accountability for my own life. And when I am in that energy, when I am in the energy of shame, of guilt, of fear, of want, then I'm saying that, things just don't work out for me. Because you believe in this vibration, you believe that the outside controls your inside. That whatever is happening in my outside world will, control how I show up in life. So for example, if I don't have these things in my life that I want right now, the money, the love, the whatever, then I won't feel grateful, or I won't feel love, or I won't feel joy until I have it. It's a very cause and effect kind of relationship, that once I see it in my life, then I will feel the emotion. So the core idea of manifestation is that we work from inside out, that it's not about the external at all. It's about your internal state. Because what we want in life, that when you say you want the money, you want the, whatever it is that you want, it's not the thing that you want. It's the feeling that that thing gives you. And that feeling is what most people are after. But we instead stay stuck in these feelings where it's this guilt of like, things just don't work out for me, or I mess up. I keep messing up. I sabotage myself. When we go a little up from the scale, from when we break the survival, okay, the survival is broken by something called courage. When you build up the courage to choose a new life, to choose a new reality, and you go like, okay, you know what? Not anymore. That's when you have a breakthrough. Courage is where you have your breakthrough. Then from courage, you go up the scale and you go to neutrality, willpower, acceptance, meaning, and purpose. This is where you start saying, life happened for me. You start seeing the order in the chaos. You start seeing the meaning in life. You start seeing the meaning in your pain, in all of your experiences. Everything starts to come together. Like all these puzzle pieces start to come together. And then beyond this is love and joy and enlightenment. And this is when you say life happens through me. This is where everything happens in a very flow state, where you are not controlling outcomes. You are just, flowing divine source energy through you. You are following what you have been put on this earth for. Sorry, I think I heard something. Never mind. So point is that survival emotions keep you stuck. When you're saying you want something, you're saying you don't have it. When you say, I want to be my best self, yes, I will share a picture of this chart for sure. When you say, I want to be my best self, you're saying that I am separate from my best self. I am not my best self yet. That is why I want to be my best self. And before we go forward, what I want to invite you to do is take out your journals, okay? And just to become aware of your own current frequency. The names of the emotions are shame, guilt, fear, want, courage, neutrality, willpower, acceptance, meaning, purpose, and then love. I know I went by really fast, but I'm going to send a picture of it, so don't worry about it. So I'm going to share my screen, okay? And I want you to take out your journals and do this little exercise just to become aware of what frequency, energy are you emitting at the moment, okay? So let me see. Right, yeah. Okay, so life gives you a direct reflection of who you're being, correct? So I want you to make a list of all the emotions that you have experienced most consistently in the last 4 to 6 weeks. So any emotion that you've experienced more than, 4 to 5 times, whether it's sadness, anger, guilt, gratitude, whatever it is, and be viciously honest with yourself. Like don't say the ones that you would like to have experienced. Say the ones that you genuinely deep inside experienced, and only you know the truth of those. So I'm going to give you like 3 minutes max to think about this and write those down.
It's not easy, no, it's not easy, it's not easy breaking your heart. It's not easy, no, it's not easy, it's not easy breaking your heart. We were two dumb kids, full of grand ideas. We knew this would end from the start. you shook your head, looked at me and said, it's not easy breaking your heart.
Let me know in the chat when you guys are done. So I think most people are done here. And what I want is for you to just look at these emotions that you've listed down, right? And think about this, that how much of your vibration is stuck in lower vibration energies, because the emotions you consistently feel make up your emotional home. And in life, you get a direct reflection of that emotional home because it is a direct reflection of who you're being, right? And if we want to manifest miracles, we need to change the person we are showing up as. And today we're going to recreate that person. We're going to create a new version of you that you're going to energetically not just connect to, but also install within yourself, literally in a moment. So what we say, what all of this is about is that we are not going to create from the outside. We are not going to want, we're not going to feel guilty when we're not getting results, right? And we're not going to shame ourselves into change. A lot of times when people are trying to change things in their lives, there's a lot of shame associated with it. That, oh, like, let's say you want to start building a new habit, right? And then you feel shameful that, oh, I missed a day of working out, or I didn't do this, and you start beating yourself up. The inner critic comes in. Your inner critic is a great example of your childhood trauma. So all of this, by the way, goes back to your childhood trauma. Now, when you were a kid, the emotions that you experienced in your childhood, I'm just gonna, like, for those of you who are having a hard time seeing, the emotions that you found hard to, that you connected to in your childhood, which were of unworthiness, of guilt, of shame, of fear, you internalized a meaning of what it meant. So a kid, when you're at the age of, like, between the ages of 0 to 7 and a little above as well, anything that you experience, I was talking to one of my friends earlier today, and she said this thing to me. She was like, Anna, you always talk about childhood trauma, but I had a really good childhood in the sense that my parents were really nice to me. They were really loving to me. So I don't think that I have childhood trauma from they, like, doing something to me, like, personally, but I just saw them not have a good relationship. I saw dysfunction in their relationship. I saw abuse in their relationship, but it had nothing to do with me. That is where you're wrong. Even the things that you experienced that were not personally related to you, but you saw them happen in front of you as a kid, at the age of 7 years old, you don't have a conscious, logical thinking mind developed yet. So you internalize the meaning from whatever is going on, and you take it as guilt, as shame, as fear, as because there's something wrong with me, because of me, this is happening. I'll give you a very interesting example for this. When I was growing up, I think most of you here know this, that, I had a little sister who, when she was born, she had a heart disease. And I remember that, and by the way, I had completely blocked out these feelings until very recently when I was doing all of this work, is that when she was, when she was sick and when she was unwell, and my parents, all of their energy was focused on her, and as a result of them being focused on her, I believed my inner child created a meaning that I am not worthy, I am not loved, I am not important, I don't matter. And so there was this guilt and shame and unworthiness that was created, and it stayed in my energetic field. And all of the experiences I had in my life thereafter would reflect that back to me. My marriage was a great reflection of the same energies that I experienced when I was a kid, that I'm not understood. I'm not, like, nobody, like, this person doesn't understand me. They don't see me. They're not, like, hearing me. I am invisible. I don't matter. And so the reason I'm sharing this with you is because when we form this meaning and we internalize this meaning, we carry this story forward in our unconscious awareness. It is in your energetic field. So this is your energetic field, and these things exist in here. And as an adult, you carry these forward and you keep recreating familiar childhood dynamics. I can't tell you how important this is to understand, because one of the biggest reasons we keep recreating patterns with different people in our lives, like it's like different people but same experiences, similar toxic dynamics. Think about this. Like, how many times have you had experiences where, you know, if you focused on it and if you really reflected on this, you could tell that, you know, like it's like the person changes but the experience, the energy is the same. And I had this reflection where I went back to all of my life, like literally year by year. And I was like, okay, this happened this year. Whoa, this energy happened here. It happened here. It happened in my marriage. It happened with this person I dated. It happened in this work setting. It happened with this, you know, professional connection I had with this business partner. That same childhood energy that was stuck in my field, I kept recreating it. So it's almost like paradoxical that you are trying to manifest abundance and you're trying to manifest this good thing and this good thing and this good thing, but then you're carrying these feelings and energies of the past within you, which block your manifestations. So an interesting part of your manifestations is that when you manifest something, you like life gives you a reflection of what you need to heal from. So if you are constantly manifesting abundance, but you keep seeing scarcity in your life, that is life giving you this reflection of, hey, you need to heal this energy that is in your field. Only when you heal this energy that is in your field will you allow for that manifestation to come into your reality. Until you don't, you keep recreating the same childhood energy dynamics. So just for a moment, like think about it. Think about, what did you predominantly feel in your childhood? What was, you know, your experience like when you were growing up? I remember when I was doing my there's this process we do in, you know, our coaching, which is called timeline therapy, right? And timeline therapy essentially is that you go back into your mind's eye and you know, think about the first time, and you can't consciously know this, it's like an unconscious awareness, but you remember the first time that you experienced a certain emotion. And I was doing it for sadness. And this memory that I had repressed came up for me from when I was 6 and my parents were in a very, you know, like dysfunctional place. There was a lot of uncertainty, and I was having this conversation with my mom in the kitchen. And that thing wasn't directly related to me, but it is what made me feel sad. And it made me feel like I had to pick sides. It made me feel like there was fear. So think about, after this, you know, workshop is over, I want you to just spend a few moments with yourself reflecting back on what are some of the most predominant energies in your childhood. What were they like? What was the overall theme like? And then, like, you know, almost like you know, like measure it with the themes of your current reality. Like, what have you experienced since then? What kind of people have you met? What kind of feelings have you had the most? My friend that I was telling you about earlier, you know, who said that I just saw my parents' dysfunctional relationship. And she said another thing, which was that, you know, my parents gave me a lot of importance. And believe you me, this, you know, wonderful woman, in all her relationships, there's a lot of dysfunction, but also it is because she feels like they don't give her enough importance. Our relationship with literally everything in the universe is a direct reflection of the energy of our childhood. And I will teach you in a moment a way that, you know, you can heal this childhood energy. We will do a small exercise to begin that healing process as well. But I want you to just think about this, because all of this is on autopilot. It has been on autopilot. And today is about metacognition. Today is about becoming aware. Today is about noticing the things that we have been asleep to for so long. And when we become aware, that is when we begin to liberate. So I'm going to give you guys like a quick 5-minute break. I'm going to take a picture of this chart paper, send it to you guys in the chat, and I need to change my chart paper as well. So I'm going to go do that in the 5 minutes. Take a quick sip of water. We're going to come back in 5 minutes, and we'll get to the change part, the more very, very interesting part. Okay, so I'll see you guys in 5 minutes.
When will you learn that the more you take means the less that you have at the end of the day? Stillness of the mind is so hard to embrace. Freedom of the heart is what we crave, and we sit by the river with a cup of tea. Watch the movement of the tide in the gentle breeze. Pelican drifting slowly, looking for a feed, like Mr. Percival to Storm Boy, you to me. Kookaburra calls just like he knows, and I'll call right back. Yes, I'm home, he's been with me, he's watched me grow through those rainy days and those rocky roads. And now everybody smiles in the setting sun and sighs with contentment when the day is done. Hand in hand with the one you love, feeling blessed by the magic of the moon above. And we sing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. We're just living in this beautiful world. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. We're just living in this beautiful world. It's time for fire, smoke and leaves, the only mosquito repellent we need. Pay respect to the north, the south, the west, and the east. Pay respect to the spirit of this old country. Freedom in the hearts of the young and brave, who know little of the journey of the diggers who gave their lives to the service and the government game, so that we could dance together on this beautiful day. And now everybody smiles in the setting sun and sighs with contentment when the day is done. Hand in hand with the one you love, feeling blessed by the magic of the moon above. And we sing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. We're just living in this beautiful world. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. We're just living in this beautiful world. Everybody smiles in the setting sun and sighs with contentment when the day is done. Hand in hand with the one you love, feeling blessed by the magic of the moon above. And we sing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. We're just living in this beautiful world. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. We're just living in this beautiful world. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. We're just living in this beautiful world. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. We're just living in this beautiful world.
There's traffic and paying dues, but in my veins the ocean is pumping through. 'Cause all we are, all we are, all we are, all we are. 'Cause all we are, all we are, all we are, all we are. Just rolling waves. Can you feel it? Rolling waves. Rolling waves. Can you feel it? Rolling waves.
Okay, so we're back. Okay, so what we're going to talk about now is how we're going to change. We've understood that these past energies, we carry them with ourselves, and now we're going to talk about how exactly this happens and then what we're going to do to change it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is your inner self-image. Your inner self-image is literally like how you, when you are really honest with yourself, view yourself. So for example, for me, you know, for most of my life, I believed that I was not worthy. I believed that I was not good enough. I believed that I didn't deserve love. And I kept saying these things that, oh, I want a partner, I want this thing, I want this thing. But my inner self-image was that of what I believed about myself, what I believed that I deserved. And it comes from our past energies that we talked about, our childhood energies, right? And it is on autopilot. We think, we feel, we act on autopilot. And this is your familiar old self energy. So your inner self-image is who you believe you are, what you believe you deserve, what you believe you are worthy of. And the thing about your familiar old self, you know, when we talk about change and when a lot of people say that, oh, I'm not able to change, or I want to change these things, but it's just, it doesn't happen. You know, I keep falling back to old patterns. I keep recreating same experiences. It's because your familiar old self is your comfort zone. It is your ego preservation mechanism. Your ego always, one of the biggest things about your ego is that it has the need to be right about everything. And your ego is the survival energy that you live in. Your ego is the part of you that wants to keep you, you know, stuck. It wants to protect you, which is why it ends up keeping you stuck. You know, it wants you to not take the risk. It wants you to stay in the familiar, stay safe. Don't take that risk. Don't do the bold thing. Don't do the courageous thing, because your brain is a prediction machine. So your brain is always like predicting your future possibilities based on your past experiences. So it's like driving a car, but you're looking in the rear view mirror. And you're constantly thinking that, you know, like if you look in the rear view mirror and you drive the car forward, what's going to happen? You're going to crash because you're not looking forward. So that's what most people do with their future, with their you know, what they can create. They think that if it was possible in the past, whatever was possible in the past equals what can be possible in the future. If this didn't happen in the past, if it didn't work out in the past, that means it can't work out in the future. And that is your familiar old self. That is your ego preservation. And so you think, act, and feel according to that reality. And that brings us to the expectation effect. The expectation effect says that whatever you expect to happen is, you know, like that is what transpires in your reality. So like my friend's example, he expected to get robbed, and lo and behold, he gets robbed. You know, when whatever we expect to be our reality comes in our reality. And this expectation, by the way, is not a conscious expectation. It's not that, you know, when you are meeting a new person, you're consciously expecting that they're going to be an absolute piece of shit. It's that you unconsciously believe that I don't deserve love. So you expect that things don't work out for you. And that is what your reality reflects back to you, because all of reality is a mirror. But you can't change the mirror. You can only change the reflection of what you see in the mirror by changing yourself. We try to force the outside. We try to control the outside. We want the outside world to bend to our will. But we need to realize that I cannot change the outside. I can only control my internal world, my internal state, who I am being every single moment. That is in your power. The and with manifestation, what I don't know about you, but one of the biggest breakthroughs for me was that, so last year was beginning of last year, I really learned a lot about manifesting and whatnot. And what happened after that is that, now I've learned what manifestation is, but I had this need to control everything. Okay. So now I'm manifesting all these things, but then at the same time, I'm controlling how they come in my life. So I'm like sitting there and I'm saying, universe, can you give me this? And I'm like, and can you exactly give it to me like this? Like my control shit was so over the top that I have never in my life had a birthday where I did not plan the entire thing from start to finish and tell my friends that, oh my God, okay, can you throw me a surprise party and can you exactly throw it to me like this? This is the venue and this is the theme and this is the thing that's going to happen. Because you want, the uncertainty of surrender is so hard. It's so hard for us. Please share if I manifest, girl, everything. I will tell you how in just a moment. Just wait for a moment. So my point is that when we are trying to manifest, the biggest thing is that there are two things. A, we need to expect that what I'm manifesting is going to happen. And B, I need to surrender that I know it's going to happen, but I don't need to know how it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen and it will happen exactly how it's meant to happen. I can only put my part of effort, but when I try to control everything, like literally guys, like most of last year, like maybe like the latter past of last year, I was trying to control every single thing in my life, from relationships to my business to this and that. And it, there was this point where I was working 14, 15 hours a day. That kid is going to, by the way, grow up and be so smart. And she's going to be like a manifestation master. For those of you who can see herself on the screen. My point is that, I was trying to control every single thing exactly how it needed to happen. And then I reached this point where I was burning out and I was like, why is it not working? Like I'm putting in the meditations, I'm putting in the work, I'm physically exhausting myself. Then why is it not happening? And the answer, lo and behold, is control. Because when we are controlling, there's this resistance in our energetic field. So we don't let the divine God, we don't let God's energy to enter. We don't allow for space for miracles to happen. For your manifestations are supposed to be unexpected. They're supposed to come as unexpected surprises. And I will give you an example for this, for someone who asked me in the chat as well. So 2022, I think it was October or November, maybe October 2022. And I didn't remember this until like way later into last year. Okay. So it was October or something. And I remember writing in my notes app that, oh, on my 24th birthday, I'm going to be celebrating it in Dubai. Okay. And that was it. Like I didn't think of it. I didn't think how it was going to happen. It was just like a thing that I set it and forget it. Like write this down, set it and forget it. Set it and forget it. Because I wrote that down and then I completely forgot about it. And in my mind, it was like, I've written this down and it's going to happen, because whatever we write, we invite into our reality, right? So anyways, fast forward a couple of months later, I was doing this Unleash Her Power within 8-week program, which was powered by Tony Robbins, right? And I was supposed to also fly to Australia at the same time. Like the same days that event was happening were the same days of another event I wanted to do. So I didn't end up, although I had the ticket for the Australian event, I ended up not doing that. I stayed here. I attended the Tony event, okay? And during UPW, which is the 4-day thing, Tony, day 3, Tony's asking these questions, and there were like over 40,000 people in the Zoom room, right? And he's asking a question, and he goes like, if you know the answer, and you're sitting there and you're thinking that, oh, I'm not going to pick you because there's 40,000 people on the Zoom screen, then you're obviously not going to get picked on. And that was exactly what I was thinking, because I didn't raise my hand. The moment he said that, I was like, God, okay, so cool. So I stood up. He asked the question. I started like jumping in my screen, and I'm like, I know the answer, Tony. I'm going to tell you. And then he calls me. Like, I did not expect to be called on. But then he called me on stage. I answered his question. Next thing was that this guy who was in Dubai, he has like a personal development company there. He was also watching. He reached out to me on Instagram. I started working with him on my freaking birthday. I was in Dubai, and it was an all expense paid trip. So yes, when we like surrender control, and when we're not trying to like plan out every single detail and control how it's going to happen, we allow for synchronicities in our lives. But our challenge is that we are, very like, our need to control is so high because we need to know everything. Certainty is one of the biggest human needs. So the idea here is that we need to learn to let go of the familiar old self, let go of control, to surrender, to allow our manifestations to happen. Okay. The second thing that is really important are your payoffs. This is something that I really want you to think about, because, payoffs are like secondary gains, basically, right? Secondary gain is that when you know that you want to change a behavior in your life, when you know that you want to change something in your life, but you don't change it, and there's like a higher purpose, like it is serving you in some messed up way. So for example, someone who stays in a toxic relationship, even though they know that their partner is not good for them, but they stay because they feel that the uncertainty of leaving this person and the uncertainty of how is my next relationship going to be like is so high that they choose to stay in that same toxic dynamic. Or people who don't quit their jobs even though they hate their jobs, it's serving them because they feel safe. And usually it's the fear that serves you, right? So you want to think about, what is your secondary gain? So whatever emotions that you're stuck in, whatever things that you want to manifest in your life, I want you to really think about, if you can be honest with yourself, what is your true belief about these manifestations? Like everything you wrote in the beginning of this masterclass, right? We want to get the inner self image, and we want to understand what is your secondary gain. So I'm going to share my screen for a question, and we're going to allow for like 3 minutes tops for this, because we are short on time and I want to make sure I cover everything with you guys. So when you think about your manifestations, what do you really believe to be true? Like, do you really believe they're possible? And what are some of the most negative, limiting thought and belief patterns that come up if you are honest with yourself? So sit with this, be honest with yourself with this. And I'm going to allow for like 3 minutes for you guys to do this. Awesome. Okay. So I just read a very interesting question, which is not to be a control freak, but what is the role of tangible efforts for a manifestation to come true? Like, is there a ratio from set and forget and efforts? That is a very great question. And the idea here is to understand that this is not about saying like me, like sitting in my, room and just manifesting all day doing, F all and just saying that, oh, like manifestations are just supposed to come to me. That's not true. You didn't miss anything. I just resumed. The idea is that I will do my part of effort without overdoing my part of effort. Like, so for example, if I'm manifesting money or if I'm manifesting clients, I will show up from a place of, oh, the consciousness scale is not here. Wait, a place of like higher vibration emotions. Let me see if I can just, you know, like which is love or meaning and purpose to serve. I really should get a flip chart board, which I will for the next one. Anyways, point is that, I show up from a good place. I show up from a whole, complete place. I show up from an abundant place, as like in my energy, and I do the actions that I feel guided to do. And then I let it go. Like, I don't try to control how this thing will happen. I just like do my part, and I trust that God will bring that thing to me. I trust that, whatever is meant to happen will happen. So for example, like a very like small example, but when I, like 3.5 weeks ago, I started my YouTube channel, right? And I had like zero expectation of what I wanted out of that channel. Like the energy that I started it with, and I record every video with, and I doing most of my work with now is that, I want to serve these people to the best of my ability. I want to be able to help these people. I want to add value to everyone's life. And that is that, I set my manifestations at one point, and then I just show up to serve. I just show up to contribute. I follow my excitement in life. And, everything just turns out exactly how it's divinely guided to. I'm at, I think, 270 something subscribers, and I did not think that that would happen. Like, I didn't think that, people are going to actually find that content so valuable, or, oh, like I'm going to get X many subscribers. I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that. It was just that, like, God, this is for anyone who needs it. And like things just, you become a magnet for opportunities. Like, I had people, reaching out to me, oh, can I, invite you for a talk here? Can I invite you for this? Can I invite you for that? I didn't have to like do anything other than show up in the value of service. That is a great question. And I'm going to, once we are done with all of this, I will answer this question, Mariam. So point is that, we now know that there is a level of, surrender that comes with manifestations. That surrendering is about recognizing that it is not the actual physical thing, it's the feeling. And if I can feel that I already have what I am trying to manifest. So for example, if you're trying to manifest, money, okay, you're trying to manifest abundance in your life. So what if I told you that just by connecting to the energy of abundance every single day without seeing physical proof in your reality yet, you raise your vibration and you are guided to do actions, you are guided to opportunities that create that abundance in your life. So it's about realizing that it's not about that thing in the physical reality. It's more about who we are being in every moment. It is about you as a person, the person you show up as. It's not about the things in your life that you get. Because if I'm always dependent on seeing the things in my life to feel a certain way, then my emotional state, my vibrational state will be so fluctuating that today I'm happy, but tomorrow, because someone was an asshole to me, I feel pissed off. Ooh, they've ruined my day. But what if I could experience that moment? I could feel what I needed to feel, and I could let go of it. What if no matter what is happening in the external world, I choose to stay in a higher vibrational state for myself? What if I could notice abundance in other things in my life, and the fact that I have, a roof on top of my head, dinner on my plate, food in the fridge? Is that not abundance? Do I not have abundance of family? Do I not have abundance of friends? Do I not have abundance of what? Just look around yourself, like look around at the world around you. Is there not an abundance of nature? We make it to be very black and white, and it's not. So the idea is to feel, because like Neville Goddard says, that feeling is the secret. That if we can feel before the reality is made to manifest, the reality is going to come like this, because you are going to change. The reason why you don't have that thing that you want yet is because you are not the person you would be when you have that thing. So if we can bridge the gap between who you are right now and who you would be once you have the thing you're trying to manifest, and you could become that person in the here now, watch reality change like insane amount of ways, because we get in life a direct reflection of who we are being. So the idea today is to understand, who are you being in your everyday life? What are your beliefs? And I know that this need to control is a natural human need. But if I tell you today that, hey, I'm going to give you $20,000, in 30 days, will you worry about how I'm going to bring that money to you? Or will you just say that, okay, cool, like I'm going to go buy my day, I'm going to work, I'm going to do things, and I will not stress. This is about stressing and worrying about how it will come into fruition. So if you can trust me, why would you not trust the divine, who is the creator of not just you and me, but of all of life, all of existence? That when you put out a manifestation, why will it not come true if you can believe that it will come true for you? If you can believe that you are worthy of it, and if you can believe in God more than, your belief in yourself, your belief in your own limitedness. So we need to this is about our faith in God. This is about our faith in the fact that, if I am surrendering, it's not to a human, it's to God, the one that created all of us. And then there's no questions asked of how he can, he's going to bring it in my life, because that's his part. I get to do my part, and I get to leave it up to him. So secondly, I just saw the time. I want to be really mindful of it. So let's get to this revision technique. So when we talk about changing the past, okay, there's something called the revision technique that is about changing the way you experience the past. Now, you are here now, and this is your past, and these are all the potential realities for your future. So whatever you remember from the past the most, the energies that you remember from the past the most, is, like I told you, what you keep recreating, right? So if you remember the energy of unworthiness, of sadness, of anger, of fear, you keep recreating that. So the revision technique is essentially a process of going back to our mind, like going back to our past, and changing what we remember about the past, because all of reality is neutral. Reality, the only meaning that reality has, by the way, is the meaning that you give it. So if, for example, it's raining outside right now, right? And I'm a person who likes rain, so I'll be like, oh my God, it's raining. But if someone doesn't like rain, they're going to be like, oh my God, it's raining. Reality is neutral. It's raining. But person A gave it the meaning that rain is amazing, and person B gave it the meaning that freaking hell, rain sucks. So all of what we remember about the past is very subjective to our own perceptions, to the filters that we have given the past, to the meanings that we have given to the past. So the revision technique is about, notice, what do you remember most about the past? And can you now go back to that past memory? And can you now give it a new meaning? So for example, if I talk about my own life, I could look at my life right now and say that, oh, when I was this year old, when I was 13, my sister died, and then this person died, and that person died, and that sucked, and this sucked, and then, I fell in love and it didn't work out, and then I got married and that didn't work out, emotional abuse and whatnot, and then this happened, I got financially betrayed. My life sucks. I could revise that story of the past, or I could look at all of that and say, holy crap, all of that happened in perfect divine timing to bring me to this present moment where I get to serve these people, where I get to do something that lights my heart on fire, where I get to live as my highest vibrational self, where I get to live in a way that I am most aligned with myself, where I get to do what I love, where I get to live on purpose, and know that this, who I am today, where I am right now, would not have been possible without all of that. When we are in the middle of our storms, life doesn't make sense. When I was getting divorced, I almost took my own life. It didn't make sense. A year before that, I almost took my own life twice. Life didn't make sense to me. And so when we are in the midst of the storm and shit is going down, it doesn't make sense. And you're looking at it and you're in the middle of it and you're just like, wow, everything really does suck. And we give it a certain meaning. But the revision technique is about looking at your past and then recognizing that you have the power to give it a new meaning, because every moment you are a new you. Every moment you are a new you. Every moment you have the chance to begin again. Like, I'm not the person I was 10 minutes ago. If I don't want to be. And most of us, because we keep carrying energies of our past in our present, in our future, we keep staying energetically as the same person. So you may be physically growing and things may be externally changing, but the way you feel in your heart doesn't change. You felt crappy 2 years ago, you feel crappier now. That's how I felt for like almost a decade of my life, because that's what how I chose to give meaning to the past. So what I want to invite you to do is that when you see, when our future change, when we change in the present, we change in the future, right? And when we change in the present and we change in the future, we change the past as well. Not physical, because the past doesn't really exist. It's fluid, right? The past is gone. It only exists in your mind. And the reason we hold on to it so much is because of our ego. The ego wants to talk about fair and unfair, that this was not fair. That person did this thing. Anna, you don't understand. It was unfair. When I got a divorce, I remember the day I signed my papers, I had gotten out of a Tony event a couple of months before that. So I was in a very like grateful and like, it's okay and life happens for me, state. And there was a lot of like, gratitude through it all for me. But there are people in my life, very close loved ones, every time they met me, they'd be like, this was not fair, Anna. It sucked. He shouldn't have done this. And I would look at them and say that, sure, but because he did that, I am who I am. I am where I am. I would not have had my awakening if it was not for that experience. So it's almost like recognizing that all that pain in your life from your past that you think that you're a victim of, it is actually just giving you pressure to prepare you for your awakening. Because when we awaken, when our awakening happens, you can never look at life the same way again. It's impossible. It is impossible to look at life the same again. Because now you have all this new awareness and you're sitting there like, holy crap. This life is not what it seems. And so we don't have enough time right now, but what I would want you to do, explore after this session is over, is that think about what you remember most from the past. What kinds of memories come up for you most? And if you can now think about those memories and what new meaning could you give them now? If you could change the meaning you gave to them, if you change the meaning you give to your past, you change the person you are in the present. So as you change in the present, you change the potential for the future. So if you could go from being a victim to I was being prepared and it was happening for me, and now my future can be so much more different. What if we thought our prayer came true for a bit, but then something went wrong and again we start from the beginning? What if I feel like my prayer is coming true and then it fell apart? That's a really great question. Sometimes it is because there is a lesson that we have not yet learned. And that thing that keeps repeating is, like the universe, God, like smacking you in the face and going like, wake up, dude, wake up, wake up. And it's like until we wake up, until we surrender and go like, all right, God, what is the lesson here? I had so many of those experiences all of last year where I felt like, oh my God, it's coming to life. My manifestation is coming true. My whatever I want is happening, and then it didn't. And then I'd be like, God, why are you playing with me, man? And then it came to a point where I had to like stop and surrender and be like, all right, you win. What do I have to learn? And there was so much. Our shadows are, if you guys haven't watched my video training on shadow work, it's on my YouTube. You should definitely check it out. You will learn to recognize that. How do we recognize our shadows that come up when it's almost like the dark side of manifestation. Like when you manifest, you don't just manifest the thing you want, you also manifest what you haven't healed from. And that gives you the opportunity to surrender and come back to your core and take that lesson that you need to learn. Can I do a quick touch base on how to do the revision technique? Yeah, for sure. So for example, if let's say I want to think back to a time in my childhood. So let's say, that 6-year-old metaphor that I gave you when I was talking to my mom in the kitchen and I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling like, my world's fallen apart or whatever, all these feelings are coming up for me. So what I'll do is I'll close my eyes and I will go back to that memory of that 6-year-old self. And I will go as my present self, right? So now with the resources I have, with the knowledge that I have, with the awareness that I have, and when I go back in time and I see my inner child, my 6-year-old version of me, and I will see her and I will talk to her and I will ask her and I will offer a new meaning to her. So I will first listen to her, how she's feeling, without judgment, and I'll be like, okay, well, what do you feel? And she'll tell me. It's like you're gonna, like, if you're a visual person, you're going to see all of this like a movie. If you're a feeler, you're going to feel that energy come up. Some people hear sounds. So for me, when I close my eyes and I meditate, I don't see anything. And at first I thought it's because my system is broken, but turns out it's because I hear things and I feel things. So we have different ways that we connect to our intuition, our unconscious mind. So whatever that is for you, you're going to go back, you're going to experience that first. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to feel it. You're going to allow the emotions to come up, no judgment whatsoever. It's like you're talking to a 6-year-old kid. What if that was your kid? How would you talk to that kid? Would you be like, shut the fuck up? You're not going to say that. You're going to be like, hey, what's wrong? Who hurt you? What are you feeling? Just tell me everything. And you take all of that. And once it's done talking, then you give it a positive learning that, hey, it had nothing to do with you, that you're just a kid, that, it's okay that you felt this way. It's normal to feel this way. And you can now recognize that this is, their burden to carry. And you want to make sure that you state these learnings in the positive as much as you can. And then you're going to take that meaning. And sometimes, what I'll do is I'll make it a little funny for myself. So maybe I'll literally change the memory of, like, if it's like a very sad memory of me feeling rejected, then I'll go there and I'll, change my memory. So as if something different happened. So I'll add music to the memory. I'll add new colors, a ridiculous outfit to the memory. We are always changing our memory anyway, by the way. 50% of your memory is not how it actually happened. And every time you remember something from the past, you change it up just a bit. So the revision technique allows you to get creative with how you like work with your memories. And you can think back to your memory and you can change how you felt. You can change what happened. You can make it seem like, it was so funny. You can literally like make it to be how you wanted it to happen. Because remember, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. It's your ego that wants you to stay married to the past. But when we let go of the ego, the need to stay married to the past, we change the present, we change the future. So I hope this offers a little bit of insight. What I will do is I'll create a longer YouTube video on the revision technique. Okay. That's a great question. So I'm gonna get to something called we're gonna talk about forgiveness right now, and I will answer your question through that. Okay. So forgiveness is, we're gonna relate this to something it's a Hawaiian prayer called Ho'oponopono, which translates to, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Okay, so Dr. Hugh Lin was somebody who, this prayer was a Hawaiian prayer and he modernized this prayer, okay? And I want you to kind of, be very open with what I'm about to share with you and, suspend disbelief and consider the power of this. So Dr. Hugh Lin, he was, this is like back in the 90s, I think, or earlier, maybe the 70s. I think it was the 70s. And there was this mental hospital at that time where there was a lot of violence. Okay. Like no nurse would stay there. No doctor would stay there for too long. Like people were leaving like left, right, and center because of the violence that was caused by the patients. The nurses were scared. There were outbursts. There was, there were continuous like fights and stuff happening all the time. And then Dr. Hugh Lin was known for his work, right? He was known for especially this prayer, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And he was known for his healing methodologies. So he was brought in and he was told that, hey, this is what's going on, this is the situation, and can you work with us over here? Now, he spent 2 to 3 years working at that mental facility, okay? And what he did was simply think of he considered every single patient and he cleared his own energy field in relation to that person. So that's to say that, he, with every single person, he used this prayer, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And that's all he did, just this one prayer. Within 2 to 3 years, the patients that ended up were released, they were completely healed. There were so many of them, more than they had ever been before. Nurses loved the working environment there. All the violence was gone. There was peace. People looked forward to working at that facility. But here's the part which blows my mind the most. He never worked with a single patient one-on-one. So he didn't do any therapy on them. He didn't do any, give them any meds or anything. All he did was he looked at the files of those people and he kept repeating the phrases, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And this is essentially your conversation with the divine, because it is to say that whatever I am perceiving in another person. So what he did was that, God, whatever I'm perceiving in these patients and their violence, I am able to perceive it because it exists in me. I cannot perceive something that is not a part of me. And that's not to say that it's a dominant trait in you, just that it is in your own field in some way, that you have the ability to be that violent if push comes to shove. And he took full responsibility for his perception of those people. And he forgave that energy within his own energy. He didn't talk to them. He didn't have a therapy session with them. But the reflection of that was that within 2 to 3 years, everything changed, like insanely changed. All he did, by the way, like when I first heard this, I was like, it's not possible that he never met these people, right? What he did do is that he would just like walk around the corridors and that's it. Like he would walk around these people and just look at them. That is the most amount of contact he had with them. And by clearing his own energy field, he created healing in all of them. That is the only thing that was different between the violence before and the peace after. I'll give you one of my own examples. So when I heard about this the first time, I was like, ain't no way that this can be so powerful. So my dad and I had a very like strange relationship for most of my life. You know, my like I'm super close to my mom, but my dad and I, we couldn't even sit in the same room together. I couldn't like talk to them. I couldn't like talk to him. I had like, you know, like every time we would sit together, we would end up arguing, you know, or he would say something or I would say something and it would just end in a very heated discussion or whatever. And that's a relationship that I've worked a lot on to heal, but somehow, like, you know, there was something like some resistance in my field. So when I heard about this prayer, what I did was literally just that I played meditative music and I closed my eyes and I just brought like my dad in my mind and I like played like a movie in front of me, all the memories of him that I felt angry or sad or whatever to words. And I kept repeating this phrase, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And it's not my conversation with my dad, it's my conversation with God that, you know, I'm sorry for my perception of him. Please forgive me for perceiving these negative things in him. I love you, God. Thank you, God. That's it. I did this for about 30 minutes. I went out of my room. It was a Sunday. I went out of my room, I think in an hour later. For the first time, my dad and I spent 2 hours talking about his life. I was shocked. Like when I tell you I was shocked, I was like, this has never, ever happened before. So because we don't see the energy field, we don't realize the power of this. Since then, we haven't had a single fight, one single argument, nothing. Because I cleared my perception of him it had like forgiveness. One of the things that I remember, I don't know who said this, but he said this thing that I really loved, which he said that sometimes forgiveness is about realizing that there's nothing to forgive, in the sense that anyone who hurts us, anyone who does something that is harmful to us, we realize that it is out of them being knocked unconscious. That people are always doing their best with the level of consciousness that they're at. So if someone is hurting me deliberately, if someone is being toxic to me deliberately, now I can feel compassion for them, because I like, it's like realizing that, oh my God, like that's all that they know. For me, a lot of freedom came in realizing that when my dad was talking about his inner, like his childhood, right? I realized that everything, like the kind of person he is today is a direct reflection of the childhood that he had. So you know how we're talking about our own inner child and our own dynamics and our own energy. A lot of healing comes in also realizing that our parents, you know, maybe they're not the best parents, or maybe, you know, they're toxic or whatever that they're doing. It's a direct reflection of their own childhood as well. They had a childhood that messed them up so much, and they never learned to raise their consciousness. So with the level of consciousness that they're at, they show up for us and they do the things that they do. And when we heal our own energy, we make sure that I don't carry this forward like they did. So it's not about forgiving them for them. It's about forgiving for yourself, for your own liberation, because holding on to that anger, holding on to that guilt, that whatever it is that you're holding on to, it will only, affect your own future, affect your own present. So if you want a better life for yourself, you have to have the courage to let go of your story of the past. So that what I will invite you to do, what is your query? Okay, can we I'm going to answer all of your questions after the meditation, because we are a little short in time. So I want to be respectful of everyone's time as well. What we will do is do a 5-minute meditation for this practice, for this forgiveness thing. Okay, to clear our own energy field, to clear our own perception. It's just going to be 5 minutes, but what it will do is it will give you like an idea of how you can do this on your own as well. Okay. So what I want, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Okay. I want you to bring into your, not yet. I want you to bring to mind any person in your life, it could be like a small grief, like argument you had with somebody and you want to heal your energy field with that. So any person in your life right now, that you would like to clear your energy field with. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to repeat these phrases over and over again. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to imagine this person, and I want you to imagine yourself like there is like this gold light that is flowing through you. It's clearing your energy and it's clearing their energy. And you are having this conversation with the divine where you're asking the divine to forgive you for whatever it is you perceived in them. And just allow for whatever comes up. I'm not saying that once these 5 minutes are over, your life will be changed. It will just give you an idea of how you can do this. Can we imagine a person who is yeah, I did it with my sister as well. So you can imagine anyone, just make sure that it's not that heavy, because we have very like short time. We're doing a very small meditation for this. So pick something that's lighter and it won't like really like, bring up a lot of emotions for you. Okay. So I want you to, in a moment, close your eyes when I say so. Okay, hold up. Okay. So awesome. So I want you all to simply close your eyes and take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And I want you to put your hand on your heart. Put your hand on your heart and breathe deep into your heart. And feel every beat of your heart. Feel the gift of your heart. Feel the love that this heart has guided you to experience in this world. And I want you to, as every breath you take, feel more and more relaxed. And feel your body loosen up with every single breath. And now I want you to bring to mind a person that you would like to clear your energy field with. And think about all the things that perhaps have hurt you. And now, know that after a few minutes, you will feel lighter. You will feel more connected and more love. And as you think about this person, you could probably also think about some great memories you've shared with them that maybe you haven't thought about or you don't let yourself remember because you have not wanted to forgive them on some level. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. And feel that your energy field is clearing every single moment, almost like you feel lighter, almost like you feel more love in your heart, more connectedness in your heart, almost like you feel more freedom in your heart. I am sorry. And if you want to say this aloud as well, you can. I am sorry. You can repeat the words. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. And now just take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And feel that energy. Whenever you're ready to bring yourself back to the present moment and open your eyes and feel like you feel lighter. Like there's something, if not all, that you did release with this person. And of course, a 5-minute meditation isn't what is going to clear your entire field, yet it's there to explain to you how you can do this and experience the beauty of forgiveness, because our ego is the part of us that wants to stay right. Our ego is the part of us that wants to protect us and wants to keep us, wants to hold people accountable, wants to blame, wants to be resistant. Our ego is the part of us that does not want to let go, because that story of the past is, some sort of like reason or excuse that I am this way because of all of this that has happened. That it's not my fault, that it was this person and they did this and they did that. And today, what I want to invite you to start to consider is that I'm not here standing to invalidate your pain. I have seen a lot of it in my own life as well. I know that when things suck, they do suck. And I also know the power of liberation, the power of, stepping outside of that story of this person did this to me. My whole life wanted my parents to be a certain way. And I would hate the fact that they weren't the parents I wanted them to be. And when I look back to my life today, And I'm not saying you're going to have the same experience right now. What I will suggest is that you probably might a few months, few years later, but you will realize that I realized that because they weren't the parents that I wanted, they were the parents that I needed to give me the pressure for me to achieve my awakening, for me to achieve my liberation. I would not have the hunger, the passion, the drive, the purpose, or anything that I do today if I didn't know what that felt like. So the idea is that we don't forgive for them. We forgive for ourselves. We forgive for our own truth. We forgive for our own heart, our own liberation. And we forgive because we deserve the forgiveness. We deserve to let go of that energy from our field. Then all of the outer world becomes irrelevant. It's all about me, and not in a narcissistic way. Rather, it's that I take 100% ownership of everything in my life, all the results in my life, every single thing that has happened. If I, like, it's almost like accepting that, yes, that may have been subjectively, like on paper, objectively was a bad thing, but reality is neutral. So bad, if someone hears that, oh my God, when Anna was 13, her 7-year-old sister died, that's a bad thing. But if that didn't happen, then I wouldn't be where I am. So is it a bad thing? All of reality is neutral. All of reality is meaning. I can give the meaning that my life sucked, or I can give the meaning that it brought me where I am. And you're not going to change your meaning overnight. Yet you can now begin to think from a different perspective, think from a different lens. So what we're gonna do now, I just realized that I was sharing the sound still, very trance-like state. So we've covered it up until here to forgiveness, okay? And now the last part of this workshop, of this, oh, okay, yeah. So the last part of this all is, you know what? Actually, I have a little, no, okay, we're over time. All right. So the last part is that we're going to do another meditation. This will be meeting your future self meditation. Okay. And this will be where all the manifestations that you have, like, we put there in before when we were starting the workshop, all of those manifestations, we're going to experience it as reality, and we're going to make some new decisions, and we're going to activate some energy within ourselves. Okay. One thing that I want to talk about right before we get in, so I'm going to explain a few things, like barely 5-minute long things. We're going to go for a 5-minute bathroom break or whatnot. Then we're going to do that meditation. It will be probably somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes, not longer than that. And we will activate your manifestations. And then I will stick around for any questions that you guys have. Okay. So the first thing that I want to talk about in this meditation that we're about to do, this activation that we're about to do, is the concept of excess importance. Okay. So one of the things that keeps us from having our manifestations come to life is that we give it excess importance, that we give it way more importance than it deserves. So for example, that's to say that, like, it will be so incredible when this happens. So when I say that, then this energy of this will be so incredible is here, and I am here. So I'm saying that I am here, I'm less important, I'm inferior, and this thing is superior. And all of reality is neutral, right? So when we do that, when we give it more importance, think about this. Has there ever been a moment when you really wanted something or someone, and you were chasing the thing or the person? And the more you chased, the more it was like, it pushed that thing away from you. And the moment you let go and you were like, you know what, I don't care, bam, it's in your life. And you're like, am I a joke to you, God? So the idea is that excess importance is becoming in neutrality with the energy of the universe, which is that everything is neutral. Winter isn't better than summer. The ants aren't better than mangoes. You know, that was a weird comparison, but so, you know, it's like nothing is better than the other thing. So when we put something on a pedestal, when you say that these having these 50 clients or having this $50,000 or whatever it is that I want is going to be so great, then you're saying that it's not great right now. So right now is where it needs to be great. So the idea is we want to see it as natural. So that future self that we are going to meet in this meditation in a moment, you want to begin to see that as natural. Like write this down, see it as natural. It's like, you know, this is natural for me. Say these phrases to yourself every time you remember something about your future that you're looking to manifest. It's like, it's natural for me to have this thing. It's natural for me to be this way. It's natural for my reality to be this way. It is natural. Like you have to, when you meet your future self and when you see like a movie of your future play out in front of you, you want to like believe that it is natural for that thing to be in your present life now. That all those limiting beliefs you had about your manifestations, they all like, that's it. Those are gone. This is like a whole different game. Like after you leave this webinar, it is natural for you to be a new person. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to drop importance. We're going to make it very natural. We're going to step into the energy of your future self, activate that energy. What I want you guys to do is if you can, you know, you can do this while you're laying down. You can do this while you're sitting. That's fine. But what I would love for you to do is just dim the lights in your room to, you know, like, so that all that like, you know, visual, what's the word? Like distraction is less and you can focus more on the meditation that we're about to go into. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, you know, get comfortable, make sure there are no distractions. Nobody comes into your screen, no babies, no cats, no nothing at all. Just, you know, 15 minutes of undisturbed time. And we're going to do this meditation. We're going to activate your future self and we'll take it from there. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Okay. All right, guys, let's bring the energy back into the room. Let's all bring our energy back and dim our lights and be comfortable. If you need water, I hope you've had water. So in a moment, we're going to go on a journey. Okay. And this journey is not yet started, but I love those of you who have closed their eyes. So in a moment, we're going to take a journey, and this journey will be like a look out into the future and then activating that future and experiencing. When we are done with this journey, you will have activated your future self. You will have activated your highest timeline. So I'm really without further ado, I'm going to play some meditative music and invite you to close your eyes and surrender to the experience. So hold up, I haven't shared my screen. Okay. So what I want you to do now is take a deep breath, inhale through your nose, and exhale through your mouth. And what I want you to do is slowly begin to close your eyes and relax. With every breath you take, find yourself relaxing deeper and deeper. And I want you to now imagine there's a blue ball of energy. And this blue ball of energy, wherever it goes, it relaxes that part of you. And I want you to imagine this blue ball of energy in front of your forehead, relaxing your forehead. And then this blue ball of energy, feel it behind your eyes, relaxing your eyes. With each breath, allow it to relax you even more. Imagine this blue ball of energy now going over your jaw, relaxing your jaw, letting go of any tension, any energy that does not serve you. And now imagine this blue ball of energy spinning on top of your heart. It's spinning clockwise, and the faster it spins, the more relaxed you feel. And it spins, and the more open your heart is to love, to connection, to your higher self energy. And imagine this blue ball of energy now moving down your chest, relaxing your chest, and your left arm, your left hand, your right arm, your right hand, and then moving down to your thighs, your left leg, your left foot, your right leg, your right foot. Releasing all the energy, allowing you to relax deeper now. And if there's any excess energy that's left, allow it to leave your body through the heels of your feet. And just every thought is floating away away and away, completely relaxing you. Now I want you to imagine that you are on a mountain top. And this mountaintop is a place where you can go anytime you want to connect to the energy of your higher self and your spiritual team. And this mountaintop, I want you to look around. What do you see? What kind of trees do you see? What is the color of the sky? Are there birds? How does it feel? Does it feel expansive? Allow yourself to fully immerse in this mountaintop and experience it. And whatever you see, I want you to make the color, make the picture brighter. What do you hear? I want you to make the sounds louder. And feel how expansive it feels to be on this beautiful mountaintop where if you raise your hand, you could touch the clouds. And the nature is so beautiful here. The sun is setting and it's gorgeous, and you're just in awe of nature, of life, of God, the universe. And now I want you to notice that you look up. And when you look up, you see an energy of your higher self coming down in front of you on a cloud. And you see your higher self come to you, stand right in front of you. And this is the part of you from your highest timeline, where you have achieved it all, where you live in love and gratitude, and your life is a dream. It's a part of you from the timeline where you have it all. You are your best self. You are living a life on your terms. It is the version of you from the reality where everything works out. And this higher self version of you comes down to you and standing right in front of you. And they tell you that they have a message for you. What is that message? What is the one thing your higher self wants you to know in this moment? And now, as you receive this message, you feel a smile in your face. And you see your spiritual guides, the angels that are always protecting you in energy. And they tell you that they're so proud of you, of the inner work that you're doing. And they tell you that you're doing a great job, that you're doing the right things, and that you should be proud of yourself too. And now, your higher self tells you to look up at the sky. And when you look up at the sky, they tell you that they're going to play a movie of the next 6 to 12 months of your life. A movie of a future where everything has already worked out for you. And in this movie that you're about to watch, your higher self tells you that this movie will show you that all those things you've worried about, it all works out in the end, and you can let go, you can surrender, because it has already happened. And as you look up at the sky, you see this projection of a movie of your life playing right in front of your eyes, where you see all your manifestations have already come true. You see yourself living your best life. You see yourself being your best self, mentally rehearsing who are you being in this movie that is playing. Just experience it. This movie of a future where everything works out, where all your manifestations have already come true. And you are a new you. And now, your higher self tells you that this movie that you just saw, this movie is you watch it turn into a blue ball of energy. It shrinks with huge force that it compresses, and now it's a small, tiny, very fierce blue ball of energy that is spinning, and it's spinning, and the faster it spins, the more you can feel it coming towards you. And in a moment, I will count to 10. And when I say 10, you will experience this mental rehearsal, this energy of your future self activate in your heart. And with every number I count, with every number I say, this ball of energy will come closer, and you will feel that energy explode in your heart more and more. With 1, it comes closer to your heart. It comes closer, and it's spinning faster and faster. With 2, that energy is coming closer and closer. With 3, and the more closer it comes, the more you feel this energy activate in your heart. 5, this energy of your future self. 6, and it's activating. It is rewiring you. It is changing you on a cellular level, on a neurological level. It's changing your energy. It's changing you. It's nourishing you. And 8, it spins faster and faster and faster. With 9 and 10. Put your hand on your heart. Feel that energy explode in your heart, knowing that you are a new version of yourself. You are your highest version. You are the version of you that makes everything happen. You just activated your new timeline. You just activated your new manifestations. You just activated your future self. And from this day on, the past you does not exist. You are a new version of you. And now your higher self and your spiritual guides come to you and tell you that they're so, so proud of you. And in a moment, they tell you that in a moment you will look up at the sky and you will see these eagles in the sky and experience this energy transmutation, this energy of your future self being transferred to you with every second. And as you see these eagles in the sky, you experience life as your future self. And you connect with it. And you see memories of the future, of the life that you're about to experience, that you've already experienced. And you see it all work out. It's like a video of your future playing in front of you as these eagles transmute the energy of your future self, of your highest self, your current present self now to you. Let it sink in.
Laugh and we cry and we sleep in your dust because we've seen this all before. Culture fades with tears and grace, leaving us stunned, hollow with shame. We have seen this all before. Many tribes of a modern kind, doing brand new work, same spirit by side, joining hearts and hands in ancestral twine, ancestral twine. Many tribes of a modern kind, doing brand new work, same spirit by side, joining hearts and hands in ancestral twine, ancestral twine. Slowly it fades, slowly we fade, slowly you fade, slowly you fade. Emana yo, 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 yo. 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 Spirit bird, she creaks and groans, she knows she has seen this all before, she has seen this all before, she has. Spirit bird, she creaks and groans, she knows she has seen this all before, she has seen this all before, she has. Slowly you fade, slowly it fades, slowly you fade, slowly. can. Laugh and we cry and we sleep in your dust because we've seen this all before.
Beautiful. Now you see your higher self and your spiritual guides come to you to give you one final message. What is that message? What did they say to you? Once you take that message, you thank your higher self and your spiritual guides for holding space for you. And you feel this new energy in you, and you feel alive and more present. And now I'm going to count to 10, and I want you to bring the energy back from that mountaintop to the here now. 10, feeling your surroundings again. And 9, bring the energy back in your back. 8, start to feel the energy back in your arms. And 7, and feel the energy in your hands, maybe tingle your hands. And 6, feel the energy coming back in your legs. 5 and 4, feel the energy come back into your spine and your head. And 3, 2, 1, and you're back. You can open your eyes now and come back to the present moment. How do you guys feel? All zenned out? I want you to know that this energy that you just activated in yourself, it is within you. It is you. It is the real you. It is the you that is unencumbered by the survival mind. It is your true self, your authentic self. When the ego dissipates, the survival mind silences. This is who we are. We are love. We are pure energy. And all of this is a remembrance of who we truly are. And I know that as you leave today, you will walk differently in the earth. Your life will be different. The way you show up in the world will be different. And as you're in this state, what I want you to do for a quick 2-3 minutes is write a letter to yourself. Write a letter from yourself 6 to 12 months from now, telling your current self what life is like. And just a letter of gratitude. Just thank yourself for everything. And write it in present tense. So for example, it's December 2024, and this is in my life right now, and this is happening, and this is what it is. And just a letter of gratitude. And capture the state that you're feeling right now in that letter. I'm going to give you 2-3 minutes, and then we'll do Q&As, and then we'll call it a night. Okay. I know that I took a lot of longer than I had said, and I hope that it's been worthwhile for you guys. Whenever you're done writing the letter, you can just let me know in the chat. Amazing. So what I want to end today with, and then if you guys have questions, you can stick around, is just the idea that when we think about manifestation, right, we think from the outside and we think that there's something outside of me that I want. And this experience that you guys just had is living proof that there's nothing outside. It's all in here. It is all in who we are. It is all in our own energy. And the more we live in this energy of our highest self, trust me when I tell you, your whole life will change in a moment. The moment you decide that I'm not willing to settle for my past self anymore, that who I was served me up until this point for sure. And it is not who I will continue being, because I have experienced this magnitude of more love, more expansiveness, more gratitude, more connectedness. I've experienced what it feels like to be my truest and most authentic self, and no one can take that from you. So when we are manifesting and when we are surrendering to our manifestations, it's about recognizing that how can we want when we already have it all, when we are source energy, when we are pure consciousness. And when you begin to embrace this mindset truly, and you know, it's like this recognition that, you know, everything that I am looking to manifest in my life, I am already all of that. And it is natural for my reality to have these things, because then I go from wanting to loving to gratitude to connectedness. I'm no longer living in scarcity. I'm living in this abundance of love and abundance of life, abundance of connectivity. And when I do that, the side effect of it is that everything that you have been wanting up until now just comes to you. Like, you don't, like, the only thing you do differently is that you change your inside. You remember your true state. So what I will leave you with is a quick, you know, manifestation hack, if you may, is that your first 10 minutes right after you wake up, and your last 10 minutes right before you fall asleep, before touching your phone, what you want to do is just bring to mind the things that you want to, like, you're looking to manifest, right? And feel the feeling of what it's like to be the person that has those things. Just feel those feelings and then go to sleep. And then, you know, as soon as you wake up, feel those feelings. The more you begin being, the more, like, your actions will, as a side effect, be different. Everything in your life will be different as a side effect of the inner work that you're doing. And, you know, I, in the last 3 months, did an insane amount of inner work on these things in my life. And I feel like I keep saying this to everyone, that I feel like I've lived 3 years in like the last 3 months, right? And it's because life changed so expansively. And it was nothing on the outside, it was all on the inside. The outside is just a reflection, future self of 1 year or 6 months, whatever you feel most called to write. So yeah, you know, thank you so much, guys, for joining. If you have any questions, the floor is open for questions. And if not, then I think we will call it a night. And if anyone wants to share anything, by the way, that we're open to taking shares as well, you know. So if you want to share an experience you had, if you want to share anything, go for it. I'm gonna give it like 5 minutes and then we can end it. What was the letter exercise? Z, I'll text you the letter exercise. And dude, Amber, I love you too, man. I love you too, man. I'm really grateful that all of you came, and I really do genuinely hope that you got the most out of it. I'm going to stop recording.